What's going on YouTube? County Games back again. So as this channel is a sports channel, guys, we're going to be looking at a lot of different sports topics, you know, music obviously as well, guys, and giving just my personal giving my personal opinions on a bunch of different stuff, guys. So this is Meet the Dirtiest Player in the NFL history. Now I don't know if they're talking about dirty as in like, you know what I mean, like a sexual deviant kind of thing, or are we talking about kind of, you know, on the field? But we're going to find out, guys. So obviously this is a Reddit article. This seems like it's going to be bad anyway, so let's get right into this one, guys. Make sure to like the video, comment down below what you want to see next, and make sure to subscribe, guys. I love you guys all. Let's get right into it. Dirtiest player in the NFL history. This seems like it's going to be absolutely wild. I don't know anything about really dirty players in the NFL, so let's go.
Most disrespectful and humiliating plays in NFL history. And the author of the thread had already listed some examples. Adrian Peterson running over William Gay. This dude getting stiff-armed by Russell Wilson.
Damn.
And Dante Hall with possibly the nastiest juke of all time. These are disrespectful and humiliating, sure.
Sick.
But if you want to talk about acts that are more than just big hits or sick jukes, I'm talking
Sick
cheap
juke.
shots, or worse. Just
Oh,
complete
bruh.
dark acts of violence.
Stomp
You
him.
slowly make your way to story after story involving Bill Romanowski.
In his book,
Bill Romanowski. So we don't know who that is. Never heard of him my entire life, guys. So
Romo, My Life on the Edge, Romanowski writes about a playoff game against the Giants, where he found himself buried with running back Dave Megan.
Jesus.
I'm pissed, and I'm down there just trying to rip that ball out of his hands. And all I could get was a finger. And at that time, I thought it was his, but just whatever it was, just snapped it. And I could hear a scream at the bottom of the pile.
Oh my god, bruh. I mean, it's football. Like, kind of unnecessary, but this guy looks like an absolute psycho.
You broke his finger and you thought to yourself, good, he's not going to be so effective anymore.
At that time, yes.
Man, that's cold.
Through a viewer, that's cold, man.
They get
That's
to
cold.
play football in the National Football. They're getting paid millions of dollars. Pay me a stick of bubble gum. Cut off my arm right now. I'm in. Go. I'm in. Count me in. I'm going.
Jesus, this guy sounds like he's going to war. Like, bro, it's just football. Relax. Frig. 1988.
Bill
alright.
Romanowski was fresh out of Boston College after a storied 4-year career, and the 49ers took him in the 3rd round of the 1988 NFL Draft. This ESPN article titled Cracked Code went into investigating what started turning Romo into the monster he became, and he mentioned this story while going through his rookie season. During a game against Oakland, Ethan Horton pushed Romanowski in the back and the young linebacker didn't retaliate. The next day at a film session, future Hall of Fame safety Ronnie Lott shut off the projector, turned on the lights, and punked Romanowski for allowing himself to get punked. This is a game about respect, Lott said.
What?
If you let someone do that again, I'll come after you myself.
Ooh, this is facts. This guy's building men out here, man. This guy's building men. Someone disrespects you, you better be ready to, you know, say or do some shit.
Ronnie Lott, the man who got his finger amputated so he could keep playing, when he gives you advice, at least in the world of professional football, you listen. And Romo took this to heart. That team won 2 Super Bowls by his 3rd season, but people started to become aware of how he developed his
He won Super Bowls because he kept killing people.
game. He played with a style that made people hate him, a guy who couldn't turn off the intensity, even in practice.
You broke an unwritten rule, probably an unwritten rule of the entire NFL. You hit Jerry Rice as hard as you possibly could in practice, your own teammate.
That one was an accident. That was one where I was engaged with a blocker. He came around on a reverse. I came off the blocker, stuck my arm out, and boom, nailed Jerry right to the ground.
You ended up getting in a fight with him.
He came after me.
This man did not
Damn.
care who you were. He was going to
Yeah.
come after you.
You give a shit.
There's this weird time in Romo's career that would get overlooked if it wasn't for a single incident. He played for the Eagles for 2 seasons, and in the midst of his 2nd year, Romo was ejected from a game for kicking an opponent 5 times in the head. This was the first major incident that began shaping his legacy. 2 years later, in a preseason game, he shattered the jaw of quarterback Kerry Collins. That cost him a $20,000 fine. Just weeks later, Romanowski would become one of the most hated players in the league after this happened on national television. Monday Night Football.
Here's play before. That's J.J. Stokes, I think, talking to Bill Romanowski. Ooh, and there is a real lack of social graces on the part of Romanowski.
This was crossing the line. This was something
Spat in his face.
that even his own teammate Shannon Sharpe did not take too kindly.
I was upset at Romanowski, not because he was white and spit in a black guy's face, because he disrespected another man. And I couldn't condone what he did simply because he was my teammate.
This Shannon Sharpe before undisputed right here, guys.
If my brother's wrong, he's wrong. I'm mad enough to tell him he's wrong. And that's what I did. I was mad enough to tell Bill Romanowski he was wrong.
These two got over their differences and were critical pieces in 2 Super Bowl victories. The show Undisputed has even brought Romo on as a guest a few times. On one of the episodes that Bill was featured on, him and Shannon talked about how they overcame their differences to win a Super Bowl. They came together as a team, and at the end of the day, Romo was a great teammate. As the old quote goes, you love him when he's on your side, but you hate his guts when you gotta go against him. Shannon learned this lesson all too well when Romo moved on to play for Oakland. That's when they had to go head to head.
Attract more customers like your best
Shannon
customers.
Sharpe isn't the most level-headed guy in the world. The guy is kind of a nut himself, Shannon Sharpe, you know. So they're kind of leaving out that little minor detail that he's not really the most cool-headed guy in the world either, you know. But you know.
I'm going out for an IV at halftime. 3rd and 2, and it is Sharpe who cannot one-hand it. No.
Ooh.
Covered by Romanowski. The ball hit the ground.
He has the possession. He has the possession with one hand. Now he's down when his knee goes down. He's down right there with possession.
Oh.
I think this is going to be...
Shannon Sharpe won't like that one.
The ball is moving around.
Good catch, though. That was freaking savage.
The fact that they had to
catch.
play this over and over just made it worse. You can clearly see that he hooked Shannon's arm. Luckily, he didn't break it, but it still dislocated his elbow. From 1995 to 2002.
Dude, look at this. Kicked Larry Sanders in the head, broke his jaw, spit on Jay, punched Tommy on his head, illegal hit on Trent, illegal hit on Fred Taylor, late hit on Ron Williams, ripped helmet off Eddie George. Jesus Christ.
The list of fines and altercations that Romo had been a part of was staggering. So here's another interview from a few years back that's from Colin Cowherd's show. And this is what I found incredibly weird. Romo starts to explain this concept.
You know, tell the guys he's a something a-hole. And
an hour later, you're having a beer.
An hour later, you're having a beer, and you kind of move on, you know. And that's the one thing about the locker room that's really special is to be able to do that. Some guys hang on onto it, some do, but for me, I didn't hang on to it because.
Yeah, because you were the one doing it, dude. What are you talking about? What is this guy?
I was usually the one dishing it out. And
right.
and I would feel badly about it, and I had no problem apologizing.
He at least sounds self-conscious enough to understand what he's done. So he seems to sound normal. But that quickly goes away with the next thing he says.
I remember when I threw a microwave oven at Dexter Carter, you know, and then jacked him up against a Coke machine. And, you know, I ripped off his gold chain and
the reason that he threw the microwave?
We had an old microwave that literally took like 2 minutes to heat a sandwich.
Yeah.
But if you put another one in there, it took like 20. And he tried to add his sandwich to mine. How dare he do that?
Dexter, what are you doing?
You don't do that.
Bro, this guy's nutcase. I like it. Hell yeah.
This last incident is truly the cherry on top of this man's career.
Oh Christ, you ain't gonna kill someone.
You would think a lot of his problems came from roid rage. In fact, he didn't start taking steroids until 2001. His first 13 years.
Damn, this dude is jacked! Look at this guy's freaking arm! Bro, this guy must be... I googled what his height and weight is, because, you know, obviously, if you're into fitness, you always Google people's height and weight. This dude's 6'3", 6'4", 255. That's like 116 kilos ripped. I mean, dude, that's...
years in the league, that was all
crazy.
Him. Now imagine how crazy he was, plus the roid rage. This is the result of...
His hat literally says gear. His hat says gear. Like, what else? You know, how else The guy is on the gear.
During training camp in 2003, a fight between Marcus Williams and Bill Romanowski sent shockwaves throughout the league. Here's what happened. Williams blocked Romanowski. Romanowski grabbed Williams by the neck of his jersey. Williams disengaged, and then he raised his arms as if to say, "It's over." But it wasn't. Romanowski stepped towards Williams and grabbed his face mask. Williams grabbed back before quickly letting go. But Romanowski continued pushing on Williams' helmet, so violently that his head jerked back. As Williams' helmet flew off and his head recoiled forward, Romanowski's right fist smashed into his face. The 6'4", 250-pound Williams fell onto the ground unconscious. His left eye socket shattered, a tooth chipped. He came to within seconds, felt blood on his cheek, and saw Romanowski standing over him, shouting, "Don't ever effing hold me." This was Williams' face after the incident. That punch resulted
maybe a bit too
in
far.
a broken eye socket, concussion, double vision, depression, and memory issues. This also ended his career, and he eventually sued Romanowski for battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Ultimately, in the end, he won the case. Call him crazy, he won the case. Call him crazy, a psycho, or if you're old school, a hard-nosed football player. Whatever you want to call him. At the end of the day, Bill Romanowski is one of the last people you'd ever want to run into when he's pissed off.
You guys a nutcase.
McNair fakes the draw. Romanowski on the blitz, and he just
nice beat.
Holy cow, he just ran right over him.
Look at Bill. Oh yeah, that's me. I hit him.
Yo, that's a fire finish. Damn. Boy, is he not, if he's not dead. Hey, that beat is sick. That beat's sick. Bringing it back to the roots, guys, with the old beat, mate, with listening to the songs, guys. Fire beat, guys. Anyway, guys, hope you guys like that. Dirtiest player in the NFL. Got 8 million views. Guys, an absolute nutcase. Like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys all, and I'll check you guys real soon. Peace.